Richard, many thanks for making time to speak to us. The average age right now is, well, for your ordinary South African, is still hovering in between 19 and 24, very, very young population, but youth unemployment this year is at 65%. It is one thing to have an ambitious plan, but how about you tell us about the ability to actually deploy these plans?
So yes, it's all about actually putting it into action. And if you look at it from a franchising point of view, as an empowerment vehicle, franchising is really a fantastic mechanism to, first of all, build and develop small business in our country. And as a consequence of that development of the small business, clearly we need to employ people. So as an example, with a cash converter business being a retail operation, we would employ anywhere about 12 to 15 staff members coming on board in a new store that we open. And as a consequence of that, we're giving those people the opportunity to get a job. Many of them are young, many of them under 30, many of them getting a job for the first time in the retail environment. And as we understand the multiplier effect of that, it's probably in the region of about 60 people that rely on those 12 employees that get the job from a store like a cash converter store.
Right. Let's talk about the mechanics of actually becoming a franchise. I think that's a correct term. As a young person listening to this interview, thinking about getting into the franchise business, where would that capital injection come from? Because I think it does start with that capital.
Yes, it does. And in fact, Rafiu, it starts before then. And it's about building up a set of skills that enable the individual to be a successful business person over a period of time. The capital is clearly one of the critical success factors that make the whole puzzle work. I would suggest that it is, in fact, quite a long journey. It's about building your personal skills up. It's about building your technical skills. Running a business is a multifaceted requirement. So it's about people management. It's about budgeting. It's about understanding cash flow. It's about being able to actually buy and sell whatever it may well be that you're buying and selling, be that goods or services. And then probably the first step into the process would be a business that is small enough and needs a little enough capital to test the waters as to your business skill. And whether you're running Anglo-American or cash converters or a small retail outlet in a township per se, the principles of running a business are pretty much the same. It's being able to buy a product, put a markup on it and sell it in a profitable manner. It's about teaching staff how to service your clients. It's about managing that cash flow process. And as you build your skills in that exercise, then possibly selling that small operation, getting into a bigger operation, and in the context of franchising in South Africa, you have the ability to get involved in a investment level that's relatively small. If one looks at, let's say for argument's sake, a shoe cobbler or key cutter like the Multiserve brand, and get involved in business that way, and then step it up and up and up as one builds one's ability to fund and manage bigger and bigger businesses.
Richard, I have a problem here. You've made a statement that new franchises need to invest 1.5 million rand to receive a turnkey store. Now, the average salary of a South African is 20,000 rand a month. The mean salary is even lower. We're looking at close to 13,000 rand a month. Aren't you selling a dream here? Because let's be honest, growth in private sector credit has gone down 5.1% now, coming down from 6%. Isn't this a dream?
To a point, you're correct in that, because clearly there are only certain people that can afford to get into a franchise like a cash converters at that particular investment level. I think my point that I was trying to make earlier is that one's got to start somewhere, and starting in an environment where one has sufficient enough capital to contribute, Unfortunately, along with government plans and concepts, you're able to borrow money in the South African market these days for relatively strong franchise models, maybe not so much so in the context of significant money like a cash converter, but a smaller operation that allows one to build your skills, allows you to cut your teeth in that particular business. Because as I said at the beginning, it's got a lot to do with, or the principles of running, whether it's a small business or the big business, are relatively the same.